Is happiness a reality? And should we even pursue happiness? And is there a secret to being happy? Is being happy attributed to a person's fate or a person's station in life? But just what is happiness? Is it even real? And how do we obtain this so-called happiness? Well, I think it's prudent for me to say this. Happiness cannot be definitively defined, just as love can. But we know when we don't have either one, we're so miserable. Yet they mean different things to different people. Let me start by offering you what I believe is a workable definition of why some people are happy. How did they get to that station? Well, let me define happiness. Happiness is a personal and moral choice which a person chooses to model, no matter their circumstances. To them, happiness is a mindset, whether they're up or whether they're down. If it's something they wanted and can't get, they say to themselves, I'm going to still be happy. And we all know people like that. They infect us with their happiness. Oh, it could be a kind word. Could be a stranger, just a smile. You know, they'll call us when we don't call them. How you doing? And you say to yourself, they're being sarcastic. I don't call them. Or maybe you'll say they're just born with that happiness. No, they're not. Or it may be religion. No, it's not. I think that they are just happy by default. And they want others to be like that. They don't even realize it. Now, what is a major component that could forestall a person from being happy? How about this? When you compare yourself with someone else and say, look what they got. I want it. I could be happier if I had that. So could my family. But you're not willing to do anything to get what they have. So you just sit around, you fester. Sooner or later, you fill your heart with hatred, with jealousy, indifference, and everything else that's negative. All because you wanted what someone has. And you know something that's even worse? You become vexed with yourself. Tell yourself you're rotten, you're no good, because you can't obtain what you want that will make you happy. And you might even blame your family and say, oh, it's their fault. But you know, we aren't wired to be happy all the time. I didn't know that. If we were, let's say this, you compare yourself with someone else, and this is the opposite. And you say, well, I got more than my neighbor has, or my best friend. Got a big house, successful children, everything is happy. I don't have to do anything. I'm so happy. Got everything I want. Well, what you did, you compared yourself with someone that had less. And you could have gotten more. You could have said, I'm not going to slumber off. I'm going to do what I can to strive a little more. I could have more things than what I have now. But you don't. Let me give you a few statements that I denote as being false. False happiness. False. Say this. Someone says to you, well, I have 2 kids. They both have graduated from college. I had to go by myself to do all this here. Go alone. But I struggled. I wasn't happy back then, but I am now. They call me every Sunday like clockwork. It makes me so happy. Well, you know what? Let me tell you this. Sooner or later, they're going to stop calling you like clockwork. Their happiness is not going to be linked to you. Again, that's false happiness. I'll give you another one. Oh boy, this is a good one. Oh, I'm so happy I'm on social media. Thank God for social media. Oh, I post anything. I can post that it's raining outside and I'll get tons of likes. Oh, that makes me so happy. I don't know what I'd do if I did. I sit by the computer just waiting to see how many I could get. So happy. But your pure heart is saying you stop it. Don't you try to fool me. You know that all that's false happiness. Suppose your so-called friends decide, we're not going to give that person any more likes. They said something controversial. We don't agree with it. Where are you then? False happiness. It could end on a drop of a dime. Let me give you something else here. This is what I call pretexts, excuses for not being happy. I'm guilty. Here's one. Girl, I am so unhappy. Can't find a good man. Well, didn't I introduce you to a good man, girl? Yeah, he wanted to get serious. I didn't want to. Wanted me to compromise too much. You know something? One day God will send me a good man like you have. Oh, I don't know. It's not in the stars for me to be happy, I suppose. A pretext. That's all. Stay by yourself then. Here's one. Oh, I'll be happy when I can get me a beautiful car. You know what? After a year, you won't even wash the thing. Okay, so I've given you false happiness, and I've given you some pretexts. How about this one, though? I came up with this one. Forced happiness. Forced happiness. This is where you make yourself happy, or at least you think you're happy. You have no other choice. I'm going to force happiness on me. Okay, let me give you this one. This is a good working analogy. A wife is talking to her best friend. And her best friend says to her, girl, are you still unhappy? No. Well, girl, you told me you were unhappy. You told me to keep it between you, me, and the bedpost. That you feel like walking away. You said that your old man demands that you cook 2 meals a day, 7 days a week. Doesn't even speak to you when he comes in. Go to the television. Your kids don't help you. They don't. You have to clean up the house by yourself. How can you be happy? Oh, but I love cooking now. I don't mind getting in that kitchen, although it's hot and I sweat. I don't mind it. And besides, I don't like the way anyone else cleans the house. False, forced, pretexts, all mixed together. But you know, you have to force yourself to be happy. And here's why. It's a miserable feeling to go through life and not be happy. So you compromise. But your heart is saying, don't involve me in this foolishness. But what are some of the pearls of living without the fruit of happiness? And I said, living without the fruits of happiness. Think about that. Well, you become depressed. You isolate yourself, condemn yourself for every little thing. It's your fault that you're not happy. Nobody else. You're not perfect. That's what it is. You say to yourself. But sooner or later, the door of suicide opens. Come on in. Come on in. I know this. I spent decades of being depressed. You know my video I have? Okay. A personal friend once asked me, Cliff, why are you not happy? I paused for minutes. And then I retorted, I just don't know, honey. And she said, that might be the reason you're unhappy. You don't even know what happiness is. And furthermore, Cliff, I think you are happy. You're happy about being unhappy. Well, she was right. I thought, if you're happy, one day you're supposed to be consistently happy every day. And furthermore, I said, if I'm happy this day, you know what? Tomorrow I may not be happy and I'm going to be really sad. Something to take it away from me. Not realistic. And some people are at the apex of happiness when they can introduce others, vilify them, and to give them a burst of happiness. But you know it's short-lived, and then they have to find somebody else to vilify, to defame, to get that happiness back. And again, it's short-lived. How many of us say, oh, I would be happy as a lark if God could let me relive my life. Let me go back, God. Or some may say, if I go back in life, I would want to be a different gender. Or I could change my race. I'd be happy. Well, I've said the same thing. Oh, God, if you just let me go back or let me change my race. Well, you know what we always say? I'm still not happy. We'd do the same things that we did before. Same choices, maybe doing better. Keep in mind, being happy is a moral choice. Now, sometimes we mix up joy and happy as being synonyms. They're not. They're used like that in the Bible, but they are not alike. So let me try to distinguish the difference between joy and being happy, or joyous and happiness. Here, joy is more consistent and it's cultivated internally, and it comes when you make peace with who you are, not who you want to be. On the other hand, happiness tends to be external. It's triggered by people's thoughts, what they think of you, events, your circumstances, and many more. Simply put, happiness is something we feel because of our situation or circumstances, and it can change in a drop of a dime. On the other hand, joy is what we put into our heart. We cement it there. We say, I find a reason, and nobody's going to take it from me. It's what I feel about myself. Now listen to this. If you have a teenager, how many times have you thought you could make them unhappy and take their joy? Well, you didn't. You took their happiness. You took the cell phone. You were disciplining them. They found joy in something else. Start playing computer games or something, saying, you're not going to steal my joy. Okay, let me tell you this about joy. I was sitting in the lobby of a doctor's office. A lady on the telephone, you know how they annoy you with that stuff. I sighed. She looked at me and started talking to me. She said, honey, you know, I have stage 4 breast cancer. I said, really? Yeah. But she said, you know what? I was talking to my husband. He goes deer hunting, and then he barbecued the deer meat. He cooks. He did all this here from the day I met him. Oh, that man is something else. We take turns cleaning the house. I got great kids. You know what she was telling me? I'm not happy because cancer stole my happiness. But cancer didn't steal my joy. Oh no, it comes within here. I haven't cemented in there. Now, can an unhappy person infect you with their virus? Yes. My mother, you know, when she graduated from college, very happy, had so much joy. I was born, oh, that was it. So for the next 22 years or something like that, very happy, very joyous. And here's why. She was upset because I didn't become a medical doctor, and she graduated from college with a degree in nursing. So we were going to work together. That's what she thought. That was going to bring her all her joy and happiness would stay there. Well, when I said, no way, mother, all her joy and happiness was gone because she had attached it to me. Her dreams were supposed to have been my dreams. And she spent the rest of her life not being happy. No joy in her life. And she lived a long time. And you know, it affected me because I felt guilty that I didn't fulfill my mother's dream. And I refused to cut the umbilical cord. So I just spent decades feeling guilty. Now, why should we seek to be happy and joyous as often as we can? Are there any rewards? Yes. Research says this. We live longer with better health, and we have more friends, better coping skills if we are happy. So what can we do that will fill our precious souls with gifts of happiness and joy? Consider this. Have a good sense of humor. Laugh at your mistakes, shortcomings. Learn to forgive yourself for not being perfect. Others do more than we realize. Enjoy your accomplishments, large or small. They're your aspiration. You put all your labor into it. Find a way to give back to society. Volunteer. It'll increase your happy juice. And you know, if you become a mentor, oh boy, you'll forget your problem because your people that you are being a mentor with will give you tons of problems. Now I want you to note this. There's no shame in seeking professional help if you are constantly depressed. I did not do it. I thought it was shameful to say I'm depressed. Hate that. Now this is worth mentioning. People who profess that they're Christians aren't any more happier than those who say they're atheists. Now let me end with this moral statement, and I think it is a most telling statement. You can only be happy when you decide that you can live without that something that you want. Let me say that one more time. You can only be happy and joyous when you decide you can live without that something you thought you should have. Because you put joy into your heart. You cemented it in there. Your happiness and your joy is in your hands. No one else. If you enjoy my presentations, please subscribe to this station, this YouTube channel that you are listening to now, and you will receive notification of my videos. Keep this in mind. It's up to you if you're going to be happy. Strive to be happy. It didn't come by happenstance. When you're happy, you worked at it. Thank you so much.